They are stuck in their patterns, and they are sometimes dating the same woman in a different body, and other times barely holding on by a thread. And more often than not, they're this shell of the man that they once were. And they're trying to find their way back to when things were good.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Today I'm here hoping to be able to interview Joey Wilder. He is the creator, inventor, founder, you name it.
We have Joey Wilder, first time coming on the show.
But at that moment, I had a choice to make. I either hit this while it's hot, while people are hyped up about it, or kind of let it simmer out. And I've been told by many great mentors that it's all about the timing of things.
How to break patterns. How to break patterns. We are a byproduct of the patterns and habits that we fall into. We are creatures of habit. Has anyone ever heard that before? Most likely you have. If you haven't, maybe, I don't know, you live under a rock. But we are creatures of habit. We get caught up in our patterns and our routines, sometimes out of complacency, out of conditioning, out of comfort. But when we allow ourselves to get caught up in that, we actually are withholding ourselves from stepping into a higher purpose. I meet a lot of men that are metaphorical Peter Pans. They never want to grow up. And I'm not saying that you need to act like an adult. But I am saying that there's certain patterns that as you get older, you have one of two choices. You either choose to shed that pattern or you embody it as part of your identity. But I want you for a moment to sit with, in the last week, what's something that is a routine, a habit, a pattern, something you do almost daily. And I'm talking something more specific, not like I leave my house. Think about it for a moment. Don't think about if it's good or bad, positive or negative. Think about a pattern that you have. I'll tell you guys a pattern I have. I have a nasty pattern of eating cookies before the gym, after the gym, and late at night. I have 3 different types of cookies in the top of the cupboard up there, because I have a buddy staying here and I'm hiding them from him. But that's a nasty pattern that I have, because without cookies, I'm just a monster. But I want you guys for one moment to sit with, what's a pattern that you notice about yourself in the last week? The future you want is trapped behind the patterns that you're still defending. Gentlemen, you don't rise by working harder. You rise by building patterns that refuse to let you fall. Now, in the previous part of this, today is part 4 in this entire, it's a 12-week series, so I guess this is week 4. But we've built identity. We've forged emotional control and emotional command. We've anchored our purpose, and we have a direction, and we're looking forward instead of staying focused on what happened in the past, because we don't look in the rearview mirror when we are trying to see where we're going, when we're driving a car, right? We have our eyes forward. But none of that matters if the old loops continue to lead you to the same lesson that you learned 1,000,000 times before. Now, guys, you can want it, you can deserve it, but if your daily patterns and habits don't match up with what you say you want, you are not going to get there. If you save $1 every single day for a year, you will have $365. I can't tell you based off inflation what that'll get you, but you will have $365. If your daily patterns aren't moving you forward and they're not patterns that move the needle closer to where you want to be, you are sabotaging every single thing that you claim to care about. Now, today's training and episode is simple. We're going to do three things. We're going to expose the loops, we're going to break them at the root, and we're going to build rituals that turn you into someone that can not only be calm under pressure, but also be a weapon that allows himself to move forward regardless of what's happening around him. Let's talk about the real cost of comfort. Because comfort is the slow death. It's the decay. It's the slow churn of the dying relationship. It's the slow layoff of the comfy career and the comfy salary. Because you're just not that guy anymore. Just admit it. You're comfortable. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be comfortable or that you should seek discomfort. But comfort doesn't kill you with chaos. It kills you with compromise. It whispers, you deserve a break. You can do it tomorrow. I'll do it later. At least you're not failing completely. And every time you listen, you are trading momentum for mediocrity. Momentum for mediocrity. Now, guys, some comfort habits, and I'm guilty of these too. Scrolling instead of speaking. Overworking instead of connecting. And procrastinating instead of producing. And pleasing instead of leading. This reminds me of my client Ryan that I'm working with, and I always change the names of individuals and certain details, but Ryan was a guy that thought he had a motivation problem. I'm just not motivated. I'm not motivated to do that. I'm not lit up by the idea of doing that. But the real problem was that he was loyal to the patterns that he built for comfort and not construction and laying new foundation. And once he replaced the habit of just scrolling and zoning out, this guy had the most screen time I have ever seen. It was insane. But when he replaced the scroll and zone out with 30 minutes of working on himself intentionally, he didn't just have a more fulfilling life, but he made more money. He started to eat better. He started to take better care of himself. He rebuilt his pride from the inside out, from changing the patterns and habits and routines that did not lead him to the place that he wanted to be. So right now, are you where you want to be? Are you where you want to be? And I'm not talking about life. You can take this as you will. Are you where you truly want to be? And if you are, what's missing now? Are you truly where you want to be? Because you have a choice. You can rebuild yourself from the inside out. And you can start right here. I want you to think about yesterday. Did you construct your future? Or did you comfort your fear? Answer that for yourself and be radically honest. Did you construct your future? Or did you comfort your fear? Let's talk about the comfort cost audit. What feels easy now will cost you everything later. Every comfort decision sends a hidden invoice. Now, let's say your comfort habit is mindless scrolling. Well, the emotional cost is it literally dulls your ambition. And the life cost is it kills momentum. And overworking, guess what? It avoids intimacy. And the life cost is it erodes relationships. And isolation The emotional cost is, yeah, it protects your ego, but the life cost is it starves your leadership. Know a lot of people that say they are healing when they're really just self-isolating under the guise of healing. There's a difference between the two. And I'm not saying don't spend time productively with yourself by yourself. Like I am that person. But in this, when you do the comfort cost audit and you recognize that, oh, me mindlessly scrolling, that's really killing my ambition and it's destroying my momentum. Overworking is killing all intimacy because I just never have time and it's just eroding my relationship. And isolating, yeah, it may keep you safe and protect your ego, but it starves any opportunity for healthy leadership. As I get it, comfort feels free, but it is the most expensive addiction that there is. Now, this reminds me of this gentleman that I'm going to refer to as Tyler. And Tyler's nightly harmless scrolling cost him presence with his wife, clarity in the mornings because he would wake up groggy, and he had this like unspoken shame that he just couldn't shake. And when he ritualized what we call the North Star reconnect, we did that in the last call, he took 5 minutes to reflect on his mission. He did breath work, meditation, prayer. He chose what he wanted to do. And he didn't just rebuild his focus, but he rebuilt a level of intimacy and clarity with his future. Now, I want you to pick one comfort habit today. Okay? Pick one comfort habit and write down what it's actually costing you emotionally, relationally, and when it comes to your mission. Now let's move into what I call the stretch habit protocol. You don't eliminate patterns and old patterns by thinking harder. You overwrite them by living differently. Guys, comfort collapses, stretch constructs. Stretch habits equals growth rituals. Those are routines that push you to grow. They are appreciating. They are going to have a compound effect because they're designed to feel comfortable at first, but also feel exposing and somewhat ego bruising. And they're going to feel real because they are. Now, I'll give you an example. In the morning, you would do what I call mission first. You create before consume. Now, in the middle of the day, you would take 60 seconds, 1 minute, 60 seconds. Just close your eyes, pray if that's what feels best. Just close your eyes, 60 seconds in the middle of the day. And in the evening, I want you to do a 3-line mission reflection instead of passive scrolling. It takes less than 5 minutes. Now, I want to tell you about Jason before I break down how to do these things and kind of some examples with it. But Jason wanted deeper connection with his wife, but he always would default to like these Netflix escapes. And I'm not talking like not in the same room. They would be in the same room. She would be watching TV, believing she's watching it with him, and he just pulls out his laptop and starts watching his own series. Every guy on here is nodding their head. So he wanted one thing, but he was doing something that really just was not going to lead to that ever. And instead, he replaced it with a nightly 10 minutes of reconnection and talking. He made that their nightly routine. And they started to reconnect because they started to have open dialogue. Now, I want to do this mini drill with you. Right now, I want you to name in your mind one comfort habit that you're killing, one stretch habit that you're replacing it with. And this is the example. Comfort would be scrolling Instagram or any type of social media before bed. The stretch exercise would be journal 3 things I'm grateful for. Journal, or you can use the prompt, 3 things that made me happy today. Now I'm going to give you an assignment that I call burn the old loops. You are either constructing leadership or collapsing into comfort, and you have a choice. Now, you are going to do the comfort cost audit and add the stretch habit installation, because the whole goal of this is to destroy one comfort loop and install a new identity through that stretch habit. Now, here's how we do it, broken down into 5 steps. Step 1, you're going to identify one comfort habit that's draining your leadership. And number 2, you're going to name its emotional and life cost. And number 3, you're going to replace it with a stretch habit. And number 4, you're going to share it in our Telegram channel. And you are going to live this for 7 days straight. And next Tuesday, I'm going to follow up on this with every guy that's on this call. Here's the pro tip. When you feel resistance, just smile or breathe. Because it's not weakness when you're feeling that resistance or so challenged. It's proof that the old survival brain and that layer is dying. It's like shedding of skin. Now, I'll leave you with this. You won't sabotage your future because you didn't want it bad enough. I hate that statement. Oh, you must have not wanted it bad enough. You are going to sabotage your future if you keep letting comfort dictate the construction that you are laying. Because this week, I don't want anyone listening to this to just work harder because they feel motivated. I don't want you to hustle smarter. I want you to show up with better patterns for yourself. Because when you create rituals and routines that appreciate, you will never end up drifting again. You will never end up in limbo again. Because when you have habits that ground you, this builds resilience and it allows you to step into higher purpose and have a sense of peace in your life. Gentlemen, you'll never sabotage your future because you didn't want the things bad enough. You will only sabotage your future when you sat in your complacency and comfort and let fear dictate every reason why not to do the thing. And I'll leave you with this. When I was speaking with a friend the other day, she's telling me like how difficult her life is currently, and just how like she can't believe like she's going through all these things and it's just a bad breakup. You guys know the spiel, and like it's really bad. Like it's really tough to hear some of it. But in it, she was sharing with me how like she's in such a rush to like get to the next level. And that's how she's saying this. And I was like, what do you mean? In a rush? Why? She said, well, I don't feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be by my age. I call that comparanoia. Every single person in the world, regardless of how far they've gotten, feels that to a level. It is unworthiness synthesized. And I had a dear friend share with me while they were still here, and they were terminal, and I'll never forget the day he made a joke, and he said, you know, so many people take life so seriously. In retrospect, none of us make it out alive. And there was some like dark humor to that joke when he said it because, you know, he was terminal. But in that, there is also truth in the statement. I believe so many get caught up in their complacency and their comfort and fail to recognize that discomfort is the cost of admission to the meaningful lives that we're all seeking. And maybe what you're experiencing isn't actually failure. These are growing pains, moving you closer to where you actually desire to be. but God needs to see if you're deserving of it, because he already wants to bless you. And sometimes we cannot have the testimony without the test. Gentlemen, that's all I got for you. Take a look at your patterns. Take a look at the things that make you you, or the things that make you not the you that you truly want to be. Because your life is not a byproduct of happenstance or causation. It is a byproduct of choice. No one is holding a gun to your head, forcing you to do the thing that you're doing. My coach used to say that to me when I was training for bodybuilding shows. He was like, you chose to cheat. I was like, I was just so hungry. And he was like, no, you made a choice. I was just like, you're right, I made a choice. I had peanut butter and like 17 cookies. I'm sorry. True story. But when you find yourself in the place of, where do I go from here? Make a choice. Because everything you've done up until now has not led you where you want to be. And if that's where you are at, it's time to try something new.